I have a harder time with the friends who want to offer advice as if their life is so perfect.
Mm.
I was going through this tantrum phase with Malcolm, and I called one of my friends who has 3 children and around the same ages, and I said, what do you do? What am I supposed to do?" And I was, like, on the verge of tears, and she says, "Oh, I'm we didn't really have that problem."
Bye.
I was so mad. I was like, "You so you don't." She's like, "No, they never really none of my kids have really thrown tantrums." Like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, that's
She's like, "But you
crazy.
know what I think you should do? If you really come up with, like, a more structured schedule, like, they really need to know what's happening. They need to, like, anticipate things. So, like, when you keep their structure really solid and they know what's happening in their schedule, then there's no more anxiety." And I was like, I am. There's a nap time, there's a
Yeah.
structure, there
Yeah.
are alarms on my phone that tells me what to do, but then you try to, like, tell an emperor what to do. But when you said the thing about you hope your sons marry orphans, it was so spot on. I told John before, I was like, "There's this fear that, like, any of your children will want to literally leave
Leave
and
you.
not spend any of the significant moments with you anymore," which is understandable because look at us. We
Yeah.
all grow up and we have our own families. And so I said to John, "Okay, we need to have the most epic vacations and do the best holidays so that our kids will always wanna come home. It'll
Yeah.
feel so nostalgic, and we have to let all their friends come whenever they want. Like, you wanna bring them on vacation? Let's go.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
wanna come over for Thanksgiving, Christmas, we don't
No,
care."
we were talking about this, like, have the best snack cabinets at
Mhm.
your house,
Yeah, I
like,
didn't think of
all the
that.
fucking things.
Yeah.
It is something to think about.
No, we don't wanna have the home where there's no structure,
Yeah.
because like, John is the heavy, and I am like "It's okay, you can do this,"
Oh,
but
yeah? Okay. I would see it the other way.
I know,
Probably most people think
because he
that.
was a drug addict.
He's chill, he's like, "Whatever, it's
Yeah.
John's house," like
His family, he has a wonderful family, and, his dad was a lawyer, and his mom was a law professor, and they were just, like, really structured, and there was just now we had discipline in our household, but it's a different, we were wild but disciplined.
Yeah.
Like, my mom didn't care if we all fought each other. We were put into karate really early on, and it was
You have
just
a
like
black belt I saw.
yeah,
Do you
mhm.
still know how to karate?
I've never called it like that, but yeah. Yeah, 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 I do. Yeah,
The
and it's
heck?
important for my son to do it and my daughter to do it. I want all my children to do it. I started doing it at 4 years old. Like, when I was in X-Men, like, almost all of the fight scenes I did myself.
Like, you wanted to fight, like, you wanted to show your
Mhm,
skills.
mhm.
Would you wanna do something like that again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's like it's such the week after I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I already had a ticket to fly to Germany to film this action movie, this independent film that I've been trying to film since COVID happened. We were ready to go, and then COVID happened. Then 2021, I was pregnant, and then 2022, I had a horrible postpartum anxiety that lasted almost the whole year. Then 2023, I was like, okay, we had everything set, the TPs, the costume, everybody was there, and then I get called into my doctor's office, and she's like, "You have breast cancer." And I was like, "Well, I'm supposed to go film. Like, is this something I can put off?" And she's like, "No, no, no, not this kind."
I mean, you shared your cancer diagnosis, which
Mhm.
was just so helpful. I mean, you posted the stats. How many people did you got so many people into, like, testing,
Yeah.
into doing that?
It's gotten back to me that it was like a 4,000 increase in, people taking the lifetime risk assessment test, and that, um, I can't it was like the 300% increase in people requesting mammograms, but that's all I wanted was for women to know about this test and start to be, um, m more, forceful with their doctors about getting the test they need. I mean, we have to really advocate for ourselves, and thankfully, I had a doctor who is so amazing, Dr. Alibadi, who was the advocate for me. She advocates for all of her patients, and without her, I don't know how far it would have gotten before I found it because I had a clear mammogram just at that moment, so I wasn't due for another year.
You were doing them since turning 40, like, that's
Mhm.
that's what you do?
I did it so I was pregnant at 40, and so I did my first one, at 41 after I had the baby.
Oh, that was the first. Okay.
My first at 40 when I was pregnant, I did the ultrasound. She 'cause she wanted to check. And so then, and then when I was able to do a mammogram after having my baby, then, we got the mammogram, that was clear. And then I had another clear mammogram and another clear ultrasound, and then it was right around that same time when she sent me in for an MRI, and then I found out I had breast cancer.
And so how did you find out?
So it was a clear mammogram, and then she did this thing called the lifetime risk assessment test.
Uh-huh.
And this is the reason why I wanted to, um, talk about what's happened in my journey publicly is because so many women don't know about this lifetime risk assessment test. It's a free online test. It takes minutes. You don't even have to put your email in or subscribe or do anything like that. You answer questions like, how old were you when you got your period for the first time? Have you had any children? How old were you when you had your first child? Things like that. And it gives you a score. Anything above 20% is considered high risk, and high risk for your chance of getting breast cancer in your lifetime.
Mhm.
And then you should ask your doctor to go do an MRI. And mine was 37.3%. So I had the clear mammogram, I had the clear ultrasound. Dr. Alibadi is doing the lifetime risk assessment test in her office right there. She says, you have a really high score. I want you to do an MRI.
So getting this opportunity or this role, what did that were you excited about it? What time did this meet you at?
I had not yet gone public about having cancer. And I had another big surgery coming up. Um, and I had already made this decision that I was done with acting. And I was never going to be like posting about like this, I'm retired, I'm no longer, because I was always like, when people do that, I'm like, you're not like a baseball player, like no, no one's expecting you to show up to the game. Like
Yeah,
you're fine, like, go live your life. So I would never have done that.
but you thought about that.
I no, I told my agents and managers, I said, "Do not put me, up for anything. I don't wanna act anymore, like, just take it off the table."
And
Um,
this was before the diagnosis?
no, this was after the
Oh, the
diagnosis.
out after and
Yeah,
because of that.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I had such horrible postpartum anxiety. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I put it at 100, and it's something that I didn't hear about. I was ready for postpartum depression, but I had no idea what was happening to me, and I have so much compassion and love for the moms you hear about in the news who are going through postpartum anxiety and do some of the most horrific things. And, um, thank God I didn't have any thoughts of self harm or harming anyone else, but there is just not enough understanding and compassion for what women go through after having a baby.
Yeah.
Like our hormones just drop.
Get out of control.
I couldn't make any breast milk, and I tried because everybody was like, "Breast is best, Olivia," and I had friends who were really pushing me, "You gotta keep trying, you gotta keep trying. You know what? Give him nothing else. Don't you're giving him formula? Well, yeah, to supplement, like, 'cause I want him to eat." "Nope, you can't do that. He will learn to eat. He will not let himself starve." I'm like, "He is a newborn. Like, what this is crazy." And I tried, and I was like, "No." Like, there was this 2-day period, and I had tried everybody. I tried every lactation nurse that my friends, I mean, like 3 different lactation nurses. I tried, the
He was
gummy,
latching, but it wasn't
latching,
coming
but
out.
there's no milk.
So they get so frustrated with that too,
Well, he got lethargic and tired.
because he was probably dehydrated.
Yeah, and then I told John, I go, "Hey, for the next 2 days, we're just gonna power through this, and he's gonna," and then he was, like, really supportive, and as after the first day, he started noticing something but didn't say anything to me, and then finally the second day, he was like, "Hey, I know that you've got this thing, and I don't wanna," he was really thoughtful about it. He's like, "I don't want you to 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 feel bad, but we're doing tummy time, and he seems more cranky, and he seems really tired." He's like, "Do you think it could possibly be this?" And so then my pediatrician said, like, we had a scale. So she's like, "You weigh him before you feed him, and then after you feed, still with the same diaper and everything, like, if he's peed or anything, just weigh the whole thing again. Weigh the whole thing, weigh the whole baby again." And then, and he literally, like, had, like, fractions of ounces more. So I stopped at that moment. I was like, "Fuck this. Everybody who's telling me
Yeah.
that I need to do this." I'm like, every mother should be able to feed their child in whatever way they know is best for that child
Yeah.
and, like, not feel guilty at all.